What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have a lot of cars here at the house. Mazda 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The van in the back, 7, 8. My brother's wagon, 9, 10, 11. And then my CRX, 12. So you know what that means? That means I cannot waste any time getting this car up and going so we can get it sold and out of here so we can continue building the H22 CRX, get that all buttoned up before we hit the dyno. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't know what I want to do with this car. I mean, do I want to spend some time to clean it up, you know, paint job or something, or do I just want to get it up and running and get it sold? But I do know what I'm going to do today. Today I am going to clean this engine bay, which isn't too bad. It's just a lot of dust and dirt, but for the most part it should just rinse off with a little scrubbing. So the engine's sitting here, it's pretty much ready to go. Just missing a distributor, and I can take care of that when the motor's already in the car, no big deal. And I'm missing the rear transmission bracket for the motor mount, but for the most part this engine is squared up and honestly ready just to drop into the car. So what I'm going to do right now is well, I'm just going to get something to eat, and when we get back we'll start scrubbing this engine bay down. Alrighty, so I spent some time to like scrub with steel wool. I don't know why I was using steel wool, but I'm using super clean foam degreaser and scrubbed all the areas that are visible. You know what I mean? Like when you pop the hood, you'll see the towers, the top part, this right here, and just making sure all of that is clean. I'm not worried too much about the subframe and all the stuff that are, you know, you can't see. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm cleaning this already. I should go the full 9, but I have maybe 2 weeks with this car, and in hopes of selling it quicker so we can continue with everything else and making this place look less of a cluster with cars. So I'm not spending too much time cleaning this, but the motor, I did spend a lot of time cleaning the motor because I want to make sure that the motor looks good. So if there was any leaks or whatever, you could see it seeping. But I am going to spray all of this down right now, and then kind of look around and see if there's any more gunk on here, clean the plastics, clean these guys up a little bit, and just make it look somewhat clean. And I think we're going to swap the motor in today. I didn't realize that you can press onto the screen and change the aperture on it, and it brightens up, because I know somebody was saying that the only flaws in my video is my video are sometimes too dark, and that's true. It is true. But what I am doing right now is I am going to scrub it down with car soap on the areas that may have missed or that doesn't look, I don't know, it doesn't look too clean to me or whatever, but just kind of wash the engine bay like I'm washing my car. Like right here, you see how that just changed dramatically? All that dirt and dust now gone, and the only thing is the overspray like this right here makes it look like, you know, it's paint peeling, but actually the original paint is underneath. But yeah, I'm not gonna spend time to strip that down to get the original HF blue back out. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and scrub all of the areas, like I said, that are visible when you pop the hood, and get that all, you know, nice and shiny. And then we'll rinse it one more time. I already got my compressor charged, and I'm gonna air dry it. And another thing I'm gonna do is, because I sprayed this whole engine bay down and the motor's going in today, that means I'm probably gonna plug up all the stuff. I'm gonna use brake cleaner and shoot out all of the plugs to make sure all the water and everything are out of the plugs and the pins, so that way we don't have any shortages or whatever the case may be. So everything has been dried up in the engine bay, fuse boxes put back into place, all of that guy right there. I may eliminate that vacuum box thing right there, with a regular DXSI purge map solenoid setup without all this extra crap right here. But if I can figure out where all the vacuum line goes, then you know, that's fine too. But what I'm doing right now is I'm going to be removing these hood pins in a minute here, because one works and one is seized. And what I'm also going to do is all the bolts that are rusted out, I don't know if you can see them, I'm going to be replacing all of the rusted bolts and replace them with new ones or unseized up ones. These are brand new Tesla ones right here, and these are just your typical Honda ones right here that aren't seized. And just makes it easier for whoever buys this car to, if they wanted to remove it, whatever, it doesn't, you know, get stuck or break inside the thread. So I'm going to change all of that out. You can see how bad the rust has been eating this car out. This is the original bumper support, and yeah, it flakes off just like that. I'm not going to touch that because that's what's holding the bumper up. So I'm going to change everything out right now, and then we'll really well, before we move the motor over here, I'm going to jack it up, take the wheels off, and get it ready to swap. All right guys, so kind of procrastinate a little bit here because I was waiting for the floor to dry up, because I didn't want to, you know, get water all over my shoes and then walk into the house or whatever. But it's all dried up now, and I got all the bolts changed out and the hood pin removed. This hideous looking thing right here. So I was trying to close the hood, but the hood wouldn't latch because this guy is super rusted out, and there he is. And it looks like he's been sleeping all day. But anyways, it wouldn't latch because this guy is so rusted out like the rest of the car. And it actually just unlatched itself right there. You can see the circle is not a full circle anymore, but earlier that wouldn't pop out. So I have some extra ones somewhere. I got one right here, and then I also have one in the backyard, which is the one I'm going to use, since the one I just showed you right there is a full polished one. So I have this one right here, which is the original one from my red CRX when I went SIR front, and I'm not going to be needing this, so I'm going to use this, hopefully get that hood to latch. And the one that's in the CRX now is painted gray, so obviously, like I said, I don't need this T-bar. I can use this latch in hopes of getting this hood to fully shut without relying on the hood pins. So I know you guys enjoy the time lapse and actually showing me, you know, putting work into the car. But the thing about this GoPro that I'm using, if you guys don't know, I'm using the Hero 5. GoPro said to update the firmware, and I did. And ever since then, this GoPro has been giving me a lot of issues. So the time lapse on the screen says it's going, it's recording, the red light is flashing, but when I upload it to the computer, it's not there. So I've been having a lot of issues with the time lapse of this, and if I was to just kind of record it regular and then fast forward it on the computer, the file on here ends up being super big. So that's why I don't do the time lapse. If you guys give me some time, I am planning to buy a new camera soon, just so I can eliminate everything with the GoPro, the scratching noise, the no zoom in and zoom out, time lapsing. You know, obviously a camera allows me to do like photography, definitely better resolution, all that good jazz. But so I've just been explaining what I am doing, do it, show you the after, what I came up with, and then we carry on. But if I could do time lapse without having to double check, triple check the GoPro every time for it to record, I would do it for you guys. So with that being said, let's get that latch installed. If the hood shuts, then we'll jack up the car. Steven also took the knuckles with the swap. This car had DAs on it, and these are, I believe, the sedan knuckles. And just tying up these guys up here. Got all of this removed, so when the axle goes on, but cross member has to go on before axle, so you can access those 17 mils right there on the lower control arm. And given that he removed these knuckles and reinstalled the stock ones, the brake lines aren't even connected. So I'm gonna have to bleed this when it's all said and done. Swapped the motor mounts out, and surprisingly the one that was on here before was also a single cam. It was just shifted over for B series, and I chose between the two. This one has better bushings and bolts it back up where the single cam mount originally sits. And now engine's right here. I'm gonna put you guys on the laps. Hopefully the laps work, and then we're gonna install that motor right now. So fast forwarding here, I kind of went ahead of myself and buttoning up the engine to the chassis. Got the ground, got the clutch cable tensioned to the pedal. Throttle cable is ran inside. I am using a DX1, so it's kind of long. I got the harness plugged up here. I got the harness plugged up and secured there. Alternator power wire is not in the fuse box. I cannot find my resistor box, but I do have it. I know I do. I need a resistor box to finish up that side, and while looking for my resistor box, I just so happened to come across this rear motor mount. Got all the vacuum lines routed from that box instead of just converting over to the typical firewall, purge, and map solenoid right there. I just went through my book, and sure enough, it has the diagram for that ugly looking thing in the corner, and routed everything accordingly. Now, given that this is an OBD1 manifold, not an OBD0, I don't have the EGR, which is this guy right here, and it's just blocked off at the bottom. Hopefully no check engine lights, but everything else is routed where they should be going to, and that's all squared up. All right, you guys, so this just about wraps up tonight. I did quite a few things here. Found all of the crush washers and fittings for the fuel line, so that's all squared up. We installed the rear motor mount, and the motor is quite firm in here, but not stupid firm, because we are still missing the front motor mount. And what else have I done was I installed the radiator, and before that I repaired the reverse light wires right there, and found all the miscellaneous brackets for the radiator. That's all squared up. I did all of the suspension under here, cotter pinned all the ball joints. Axles are in, cross member is on, axle nut is tightened. I still got to smack that a little bit. It doesn't seem like the wheel bearing is bad at all. There's no play with the axle nut in place, and it still spins pretty freely, but left side and right side is buttoned up, so we're squared up there. Now, I could have easily, you know, done everything all in one day, but despite that I don't have like a resistor box, a distributor, I still got to check my pile of ECU up there to see if I have a PM6SI, so we can hook that up. Just small things here and there, but the main part is done, so that's awesome. Tomorrow I'm probably going to do the exhaust. It actually lines up, but the bolt pattern is opposite. No big deal, cut and weld. I got to figure out a shifter assembly for this right here while I'm under the car. Yeah, with that being said, guys, I am going to end the video here. It is almost 10 o'clock. The skunks are out. That means I got to go in and hide. So I'm going to clean all my stuff up right now. See, this is not my cat. I have no idea who cat this is. Hey, how are you just going to come cruising down here without even like saying what's up? Whatever. So with that being said, guys, if you're loving the progress on the CRX, and I've only had it for one day, hit that like button. And if you guys want to see what I end up doing with this car as far as body and paint and stuff and all that good jazz before I sell it, hit that subscribe button. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.